Preppers, that's right, people who prepare for Armageddon. Are they nuts? Are they nuts, Johnny? Well, there certainly was a point of opinion a few years back that these preppers were pretty fucking crazy, yeah.
We just can't keep going the way we're going. It's unsustainable. COVID is one thing. It's one of the threats that a lot of us preppers thought was coming, and we'll write about that one. I think the next is environmental and potential economic collapse.
I mean, they get in their sheds and they store bloody 200 cans of baked beans and all that sort of shit. But the more the world seems to develop, Johnny, the less I'm inclined to believe they are crazy.
Hear ye, the end of the world is upon us. Is that what you feel sometimes? That you need to escape reality? There's a good reason for that.
Yeah, because things seem to be going down the bloody chute pretty quickly around here, Johnny. Well, do they know something that we don't know, Johnny?
We may be witnessing the beginning of an era that'll mean the complete annihilation of man.
Annihilation?
But an interesting bloody thought, Johnny, is to think about why these preppers are so bloody obsessed that the end of the world's going to come and they're planning for it and all that sort of stuff. And on the other end of the scale, there's millions, billions of people out there who don't think about it at all. Yeah? Well, why do you think that is?
Once and for all, that these people are fucking idiots.
Now, those people, Johnny, are they just bloody delusional, these billions of people? Or have they just not been paying attention to the same bloody news broadcasts that the preppers have been watching?
At the top of the world, preparations for the end of the world.
Watch that,
The enemy is unseen, but all around.
They're here in our nation, ready and waiting.
Well, it depends, Johnny, what you bloody listen to, what you're into, so to speak. If you're into all sorts of conspiracy theories, you'll go looking for them. You'll find them all right. But if you're not interested in conspiracy theories, or you don't bloody pay attention at all, I suppose what I'm saying is that oh, Johnny, that sounds like bullshit. I suppose what I'm saying is, Johnny, the news media out there, they can be very selective about what they show us and what's going to be the narrative of this, that and the other, and they can completely ignore something that might be of equal importance. What you get told, Johnny, shapes the very things that you believe in. I suppose if you don't hear about something, then you're unaware that may be happening, yeah? And if you're not told certain things, well, it's impossible to believe in them, because you don't know about them.
In Britain's cities and across its countryside, people are secretly preparing.
I'm preparing for civil unrest, the fall of the economy, and natural disasters.
I'm preparing for economical collapse, a nuclear, biological, chemical attack.
I'm preparing for the breakdown of law and order and a complete loss of services.
Are they paranoid, delusional, or should the rest of us be joining them?
Now, Johnny, there might be an alien civilization out there. Aliens? Yeah, an alien civilization out there in the bloody cosmos somewhere that's under all sorts of bloody duress and pressure and it's fucking facing extinction. And if only we knew about it, we could go out there and help them. But because we don't know about them out there, we don't fucking care. Well, I suppose there could be an alien race out there under pressure and we don't know about it, but now that may seem bloody obvious. But it's making my point that if you don't know about something out there, you can't be worried about it. Johnny, there could be more bloody alien civilizations out there in big trouble. We've got to help them, we've got to find out if they're in trouble, and we've got to do something about it. We've got to get Elon on it. Elon will build some rockets and we'll be able to go out there and save these poor bastards. So if every night, Johnny, every night the mainstream media put up bloody photos and stories about poverty and hunger in Africa, eventually you'd have people bloody in the street talking to one another and saying, what about those terrible bloody situations in South Africa? What about the situation in Somalia? What's the world going to do? The government's got to act. The United Nations have got to do something. But because we never bloody hear about it, Johnny, no one sort of fucking cares. maybe people don't actually want to know about what's going on in Africa with the hunger and poverty and everything. So the mainstream media says it's probably best we don't mention that.
You are the last best hope of Earth.
Whereas I bet if they took it on on a nightly basis and had bloody Prime Ministers talking about it and everything, in 2 weeks, bloody Joe Biden would be announcing there's a fucking great big shipload of stuff going to Africa, and he'd be talking to bloody people, and he'd be going to Africa to see the ship come in and all that. Right, yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, like tigers, for instance. Tigers? What are tigers got? We're talking about bloody... Yeah, tigers. About 20 years ago, I was working with a young lady, and she expressed the fear she had for the tigers of the world. They're going to become extinct. And she was quite worried about it and seemed to obsess about it. And I said to her one day, because I'm bloody wise, I said to her, so why are you worried about the tigers? And she said, because they'll be extinct. And I said, how do you know they're going to be extinct? And she said, well, you just hear it. And I said, so you're only worried about the tigers being extinct because you've actually heard about the tigers. You haven't seen any tigers or know what's going on out there. You've just heard on the media the tigers are going to be extinct. Johnny, get out of here. And she sort of said, yeah. I said, so if you weren't looking at tigers, you won't find... You were saying she was only worried about tigers because she was hearing about them? Wouldn't have any clue about the tigers at all, so you're only worrying about... So, Johnny, what's the point of this fucking discussion? Are you saying that we shouldn't bloody listen to anything? And she thought I was a fucking idiot. But the point I'm making, Johnny, is if you don't hear about something, then you don't worry about it. Johnny, I don't know, you're fucking talking bullshit again. And that depends on what bloody news outlets you're watching.